Hello and welcome to round 7 of the 2011 Intercontinental Rally Challenge, the Barun Czech Rally Zlin. The battle for the driver's crown takes another twist as the series returns to asphalt. Based in the industrial city of Zlin in the southeast of the Czech Republic, the rally has appeared on the IRC schedule since 2007 and takes place this year for the 41st time. With chunks of the route running under tree cover, grip levels can be unpredictable and the situation is made more complex by extensive corner cutting on this event, dragging mud onto the ideal line. Thanks to the weather and the broken road surfaces, tyre choice is always a factor in Zlin. The Barun Czech Rally Zlin is held in the Zlin region, southeastern Moravia, Czech Republic, on the Drevnice River. 305 kilometers south of Prague, the development of the modern city is closely connected to the Barter Shoes Company, which made Zlin famous for the company's extraordinary social schemes developed after the First World War. The two leading sports in the Czech Republic are football and ice hockey, but this weekend all eyes will be focused on Skoda, and in particular Jan Kopecký. So here are the championship standings as they stand coming into round 7 this year. Juho Hänninen leading from teammate Jan Kopecký, and Freddie Loix in joint second with Bouffier and Neuville for Peugeot in 4th and 5th. Guy Wilkes, Andreas Mikkelsen, the two UK-backed drivers in 6th and 7th. Gardemeister, Hans Weiss and Solovov rounding out the top 10. Manufacturers standings, Skoda and Peugeot in 1 and 2 as you might expect. Peugeot chasing Skoda hard, but this is Skoda's home event, so we can expect big things from them. So these were the highlights then from day 1, and in fact this is from before day 1. We've already mentioned that the road characteristics can be very tricky. One driver who made a very early mistake was Italian Luca Betti. He's fighting for the European Championship, of which Zlin is also around. And he made this mistake on the shakedown. Massive shunt. But thanks to the heroic efforts of his Chimera Motorsport mechanics, he was able to make the start. Apparently they were using hammers to repair the roof. Big shunt, and he thought it was all over. So day 1 proper, Jan Kopecký with thousands of fans out to see and encourage the Czech driver. He insisted he wasn't going to take any risks early on. Whilst he won here in 2009, he exited last year's event whilst leading and was keen not to do the same again. With a car he described as perfect, he took his first fastest time on Special Stage 3, along with the lead of the rally. The gap varied for the rest of the day, but Kopecký held on and finished first with a 19.7 second lead over Juho Hänninen. Overnight leader after the fastest time on the Super Special stage, Hänninen thought he had a puncture on the front left corner of his car after feeling a big vibration halfway through Special Stage 2. It turned out that was a stone caught between the caliper and the wheel, and after making some changes in service to improve his feeling in the car, the 2010 IRC champion returns to form with a win on Special Stage 7. He moves from 5th to 3rd overall, and up to 2nd after Special Stage 8.
Car on the service, and I had a much better confidence with the car. But then I made a stupid mistake on the long one, stalled the engine, and then we had a puncture a little bit before the finish. So over there, Honza took quite many seconds from us.
Belgian Freddie Loix made a disastrous tyre choice on the first loop of stages. He chose soft compound tyres when everyone else had gone for hard in the high ambient temperatures. He loses confidence in the car and he drops to 6th after Special Stage 5. Small off here as well, you can see. Now after service, Freddie described that he'd done a complete reset on the Fabia S2000 and he returned to the tarmac form for which we know him well. He wins 3 out of the 4 stages in the afternoon. Brian Bouffier, thanks to his FIA seeding, he was running first on the road. He had this small spin on a gravel section. Fortunately for him, the drivers around him on the leaderboard had a bad run and he climbs to 4th. He peaked at 3rd overall on day 1, having won Special Stage 5. But he uses older tyres later on in the day and drops to 4th position overall at the end of the day, 23.4 seconds down on the lead. Corsican winner Thierry Neuville has a confidence problem with the car, losing time. He makes a mistake on special stage 4, but this mistake in 6th gear on special stage 6, the mother of all moments, exceptionally lucky not to have an enormous shunt. He loses 30 seconds and the front bumper from the 207, but he holds on to 7th place overall. Carries the damage for the rest of the day. Thanks to others' problems, he climbs to 5th overall, 1 minute and 51 behind Kopecky. Andreas Mikkelsen's been on fine form recently.
I wonder the same thing, really. It was a really good stage where we're going on, and suddenly I had a puncture out of nowhere. I have no clue where I got it, so that was really, really frustrating because we were having a great fight with Jan. And okay, this is the battle end, but we'll try to catch up a little bit of time tomorrow, and 5th place isn't so far in front, so this is what we should aim for.
As you can see, unfortunately, fine form makes no difference if you get a puncture. It's a great shame because he was challenging extremely strongly. He was one of the only people who could match Kopecki's pace. Tony Gardemeister, he lay in 10th place overall after special stage 2, but lost time in 3 when he came across Pavel Valusek's wrecked 207 in the middle of the road. Valusek had a broken arm. He was very lucky not to be more badly hurt when he hit a tree head-on at 100 kilometres an hour. Gardemeister's Skoda drops onto 3 cylinders in the afternoon, but he ends the day an impressive 7th overall, 2 minutes 25 down on the lead. Craig Breen and Gareth Roberts from Ireland make an exceptional IRC debut in their M Sport Fiesta S2000, moving up from 21st to 8th overall through the day with a string of fast times. Breen's a very promising young driver, currently taking part in the WRC Academy, and he comes from a recent win in Germany and a 2nd in Finland. Very fast on all surfaces, he's one to watch for day 2 and will be hoping for a strong finish. Demonstrating his commitment very nicely there. Roman Cresta, ex-Ford WRC driver in the Skoda Fabia. He is the most local driver. He lives only 2.5 kilometres from where the service park is. He uses that local knowledge to good effect on the first 3 stages, and he's 8th overall. Unfortunately for him, on special stage 5, like some others, he picks up a puncture. He drops to 15th overall, and he loses more than a minute. After an afternoon fight back up the leaderboard, Cresta ends day 1 in 9th place with a deficit of 2 minutes 46. Now, PG Anderson signed a contract with Proton in Monte Carlo. He's later joined by Gian Domenico Basso at the team, but PG is really best known for his loose surface prowess, and he's doing a great job here in Zlin. He finished between 9th and 11th on every stage except special stage 6, where he had a spin. On special stage 9, PG leaves the road twice, but he manages to hold on to his 10th position, and he finishes the day 2 minutes 50 seconds off the lead. Guy Wilkes started the day exceptionally well. He set a fastest time on special stage 2, just 1/10 behind leader Mikkelsen.
It was a bit of a catastrophe, to be honest. I mean, I felt that we might have a puncture for about another 2 kilometres because we drove on. Then we couldn't stop and change because it was so narrow. And then when we did find somewhere to stop and change, which was about 3 kilometres, 3.5 kilometres later, I knew that Andreas was still in the fight for the lead because we were fighting with Andreas as well. And I thought, I don't want to pull out because it was so narrow. I knew there was nowhere to pull off. So I was waiting maybe 20 seconds more than 2 minutes. And he wasn't coming. But he was also changing a puncture back down the road, but I didn't know it. So, but yeah, we're in 12th position and we have to try and fight back. I think maybe 7th possible.
So there you can see, unfortunately for Wilkes, another puncture. Very unlucky really after setting such quick times earlier on in the day. So this was overall after day 1. Kopecky leading from Hannanen and Loix. Joint second, 19.7 seconds down with the Peugeot drivers Bouffier and Neuville in 4th and 5th. Mikkelsen, Gardemeister and the impressive Breen 6th, 7th and 8th, with Roman Cresta and PG Anderson in 9th and 10th. Anderson on a strong run in the Proton. So join us after the break and we'll have more action from day 2 of the Barun Czech Rally Zlin. On to day 2 then in Zlin, and the return of the Majak stage. After 20 years out of the event, a serious challenge for the drivers and a big wake-up call for the first stage of the day. And it came with some big shocks as well. So Brian Bouffier and Javier Penseri started the day only 4 seconds behind the second place position. Bouffier decided to try and push to stay in touch with the leaders, but after a bad choice of too soft a tyre compound, he crashes out of the event 3 kilometres from the finish of the stage. You see there, he takes a big cut on the inside, massive understeer, runs wide and takes 2 corners off the car. I decided to drive flat out. I cut a corner where there was some grass and I slipped. I crossed the road, I broke 2 wheels on my side and I had to repair. We couldn't repair it on the site. Jan Kopecki in the Skoda Fabia, he knows these roads well, but with the damp conditions you can see on the roads here, especially under the trees, he has no marker for anything that is going to be particularly tricky. Struggling for traction on the brakes. He felt that he was struggling for speed in this first stage, but it isn't the conditions that are his major problem. His power steering fails and 15 of his 19 seconds that make up his lead disappear on the first stage of the day. A disaster for the Czech driver. The pressure is now seriously on. Freddie Loix continues where he left off yesterday with a second place time on the opening stage of the day, just 1.7 seconds down on the fastest. With the right choice of tyres, he moves up 1 position overall to second. He's now just 5.6 seconds behind Kopecki, and he commented at the end of the stage that it felt fantastic at his age to be able to push hard and reduce the gap to the leader. The fight was on and Freddie wasn't going to be letting Kopecki have it all his own way. Now, whilst Kopecki is the favourite in Zlin, his hometown of course, teammate Juho Hänninen is a dangerous rival on all surfaces now. And with a limited IRC programme, the Finn is pushing for a good result to maintain his championship lead. He sets third fastest time, 2.3 seconds down on the stage winner Andreas Mikkelsen. He drops to third behind Loix, but he's only 0.6 of a second back from the Belgian. So still within a shout of the win himself too. On special stage 11, Andreas Mikkelsen and Ola Floen continue their fantastic start to the day with another stage victory. Skoda UK driver is fighting back after the disappointment of a puncture dropping him from second he held for most of yesterday. Andreas climbs 1 point, placed from 6th to 5th overall. He's clothing fast on Neuville, who's just 12 seconds ahead in 4th place. And meanwhile, Kopecki makes a clever provisional repair on his power steering, bypassing the oil cooler, and holds onto the lead by 3 seconds. On to special stage 12, and it was Juho Hänninen who was struggling. The Finn began to lose grip on the rear of his Fabia S2000, and he lost the confidence to push on the narrow forest sections. It was so bad, in fact, that Hänninen felt he had a puncture. He lost more than 7 seconds to the leader, and he felt he was out of the fight for the win, despite only being 10.2 seconds back overall. And you can hear the support there from the Czech fans for the Skoda drivers. And see how loose the rear of Hanninen's car was too. Freddie Loix, fast Freddie by contrast, is quickest again and is pouring the pressure onto a struggling Kopecki. Through the 24.37 kilometre stage, Loix is 2.7 seconds faster than the Czech driver. And after 12 stages with just 3 more to go, he now lies 1 second behind in the overall classification. Can he sneak another last-minute win on tie? You wouldn't bet against him, and look how hard he's trying as well. PG Anderson, Proton Motorsport, his strong run faltered unfortunately on special stage 12. He suffers a spin, which was due to a rear differential or the prop shaft breaking near the end of the run. Before special stage 12, the Swedish driver was in 9th behind local driver Roman Kresta. Thanks to this problem with the Saktria Neo S2000, he drops down to 10th in the overall standings. A good run for PG anyway, and not his favoured surface. So despite his mechanical skills to bypass